and our special guest for tonight, which is the show all about. He's one of the art who did our art part from the documentary, like from our logo of Truth Frequency Films and few other stuff of art. And yes, he's been an amazing collaborator, and he has an amazing story or the truth he's going through, what he wants to share with all of us. And it's important that we share because many other needs to know too, because it's very important about the education system and how it works and what's been happening. If you really point out the truth, they really don't want you anywhere. So I will we will let him tell his what happened with him with this event. And I'm really pleasure to have him here, Luis Croes. Luis, welcome, brother. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Figa? How you doing, Jeannie? And how you doing, Marcio? No, it's an honor, to say the least, to be part of this important group and this important movement. And first of all, a big shout out to Fika, amigo. Muchas gracias. It's an honor to be here, and I like to point out that yeah, like Mark Hollander always pointed out very good, is the humbleness you project by mentioning me. And even though in my point of view, I think my collaboration was really minimal to the magnitude of this documentary, but to see my logo being animated to by another colleague of us, I think is wow. It's an honor. And just before we started the program, we were talking about other subjects, and I feel like that this is what I'm gonna talk about too. I feel like really welcomed and part of the family. The being knowing so much about the flat earth and being in this movement also comes with a lot of painful moments, like being isolated and feeling alone. And just by being here now in this group just makes me feel being part of a group. Thank you for that. And it's good to hear that Marshall is also settled here in Holland. So now, thank you for having me.
So let's jump in with our topic of today. Luis had a very strange experience. I think the title says a bit. And Luis, it's all yours. How you want to go ahead with it?
All right, thank you, Fika. Yes, I remember I called Fika on the phone like a week ago, and I was very excited. And first of all, I congratulate him with this big success of this documentary. And again, because he named me in the how you say it, as an art, my collaboration in art. And then I told him, like, you know what, man, we were talking about the logo was about like a truth frequency. And I told him, like, maybe this documentary really resonates with a lot of people, like the way we did it, and everybody who collaborated, everybody coming together. It's if I can, how you say that, if you see other documentaries, this one really sticks out. In my opinion, it really sticks out, even if it's done with found footage, and sometimes with not this good of quality of audio, but it
Audio.
really made an impact. So and to come to then, yeah, we were talking about that, and to come to the subject is, I told them what happened to me. I mean, I will give a little background of how I came to be this big journey of the flat Earth. I think most of you will recognize a lot. It for me, it started like in 2015. I was looking uh, into ancient civilizations. I was also doing experimenting with psychedelics, and where like ayahuasca, where I got very interested in sacred geometry because I am also an artist, so I make a lot of sacred geometry art. And for me, it was another language, and I was into aliens and into Zacharias Stitchin and Graham Hancock and looking into ancient civilizations. And one thing led to the other, and then I came to the flat Earth. And before the flat Earth, let's be honest, like maybe most of us, I was a fanatic heliocentric believer. I mean, I was a Star Wars fan. I really
Mm.
believed Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I really thought I was a very,
Yeah.
very. I would say I really thought I was a very intelligent man looking at National Geographic, the universe, and this is also when I was teaching, and I really went to my students, and I mean the ignorance. I can remember I tried to memorize the Betelgeuse scientific star number, NB something 500, and I was
Yeah.
really teaching this to my students, not only art, but I thought it was important. I was talking about we are civilization zero. We still are looking for a new form of combustion, so we can go to civilization one and start planetary journeys to go to intergalactic journeys, and you name it all, man. I believed it all. I mean, I really thought
In one word, in one word, lost. Like
I was,
everybody else
yeah,
were.
actually lost.
Lost in
Everybody
space.
else were, yeah. Go ahead.
Lost in space, exactly. But then I got a sub. But make a long story short, I got into the flat Earth. And the first thing was, like you all know, debunk this. I was laughing this. I go, nah, who in his right mind will start talking about this? Come on, man. You cannot. I've seen it. I mean, I was 8 years old and 1986, and I could draw very good, and I saw the Challenger explode on television,
Mm.
of course, not in real life, and it was on the news, and I still have a drawing. I mean, I was 8. It made such impact on me, and I draw how the Challenger exploded, and then I came to the flat Earth, and I couldn't debunk it. But the funny thing is, and what I hear with a lot of flat earthers, it made instant logic with me. With all my cells in my body, it made logic, and I couldn't debunk it, and I was hooked. I
Yeah.
was hooked, and then came the big search, digging in the deeper and deeper and deeper, and 9/11. You guys know the drill. And then suddenly,
Yeah, and the
yeah,
all the false flag following the 9-1 to now. Yeah.
yeah, the 9/11, and then the NASA, and then being, getting to know. I think this is what I tell my student too. I learned more from YouTube than I ever learned at school. To
Yeah.
tell you the truth,
Oh
and
yeah,
this is
definitely.
what they're
Absolutely.
telling me too. That the students always tell me, so, sir, why do we have to learn all this stuff and repeat all this stuff, and we get it, we have it on YouTube. Can we do something better with our times? And then I'm standing there, and being the teacher and educator, and I have to confess it, and I know my friends, I know my young friends, but you are part of the system here in Holland. You are, there's a mandatory right that as soon as you're 5, you have to sign your child to a school. Until 18, they are, yeah, how you call that? They
Double
mandatory.
contract.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
Marcia.
here even Spain is same. I think in most of Europe is same. If you don't do that, they take away the kids. That's too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they can take away the kids, but now
5 is young.
what they do here in Europe or in Holland is if your child doesn't go to school, the parents will get a big fine. You know that, so you can just skip class. Your parents will be,
Well, depends of the
yeah.
money you have also.
Once again, Marcio.
It depends always of the money you have.
It depends exactly. You know, you cannot skip school. Right now, I have a son. He's turning 4, and I will have to write a letter to how you say, to the politics, and ask them to that I want to homeschool my child, and it's very difficult to get this. You know, there's in the past there people that have done it under religious motives, like Islamics. They go like, no, we want to homeschool our child because yeah, the school doesn't confirm with our religion. But now I'm trying to do it like being a nomadic, how you say, yeah, having a nomadic life, that I will
Mhm.
be 3 months outside of Holland. So it's not the proper way to start a schooling for my kid. But I don't. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna get it. And if you don't send your child to school, then it's very clear you have to leave the country.
Yeah.
So actually, what I'm saying is the children are a property of the government.
Hmm.
That's
Oh
that's
yeah, I
actually.
think, yeah, the children too, and we all are too. We all are also in the end. Everybody is. So we see the children ones very clearly because we are already grown up. So we see that manipulation, but in reality, every one of us are in a way property of the big corporation. So with our names being written in the capital letters,
It starts
and
with your
so
birth
many different
certificate.
things. Exactly, the birth certificate. We had Ronald Farnham on our show a few weeks back, and he was speaking about that. He has a book which explains what is all this and how you can literally unsubscribe to that. You can literally get back that
And you can
this
get money back.
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few ways. You can unscribe yourself from the system. It's very difficult, man. You have to really know what you're doing, and it's not always guaranteed they will grant you it. But yes, yeah, being educator. Let me describe what I've done. No,
Exactly. Yeah. Just wanted to say
I'm
to our listeners that whom they are listening to. This is Luis Croes, and he's an art professor. Yeah. Go ahead, Luis.
Yes. Okay, then I'll introduce myself that way. Yes, I'm Luis Cruz. I'm 45 years old. I come from the island of Aruba, and it's a former colony of Holland. So I've got a Dutch passport. And after my high school on the island, I had no other choice than to leave the island. I could choose for while we're talking about education, I will in like this. I have to. I had to choose in between the States or Europe. So no, I chose to go study to Europe, and here in Europe, I did my second degree in Bachelor of Arts, and I'm a high school educator in the fine arts, and I've been teaching 15 years now in a school for children with special needs, and it is actually a school for children that have communication problems because of their hearing impairment or HDAD, HDD, their how you say autism, or
Hmm.
any kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, problem that you cannot communicate right well, but there's nothing wrong with their IQ and creativity. So and to make it straight, there are a few students that, yes, how can I say it very polite, that couldn't understand. Like, you can start talking to someone about a flat earth, or other topics, but you know that they won't understand. So these students I do not confront with this the difficultness of the topic, but I also have like students that can handle it, that they have like a higher degree of knowledge, or a higher IQ, if you may say so. And yeah, these are the little spirits and souls that I try to free, to say it in another way, because I couldn't, man. I couldn't. I, like a week ago, I was like in the end exam class. They asked me to fill in for how you say that, natuurkunde, how you say that, not geography, but science, for a science class. And I was walking around, and this is true. And I saw this young man behind his book, and he was confused. He couldn't find. I say, can I help you? So I say, what is the topic? And literally, the topic was, he had to figure out, by putting some notes in a formula, the distance between the Earth and Mercurius, the planet Mercurius, and the circumference of the planet Mercurius. And there was just a formula. Yeah, it was. And he was asking, sir. I told him, what do you think about this? I said, I don't know. I just have to do it. He said, why are you learning this? What is the need to know the distance
Yeah.
between Mercurius and the planet? And what do you think about this, to this young man? And he said, I don't know, sir. I'm just doing what I'm told.
Mm.
And I was looking at it and go like, oh my God, man, they're brainwashing these children, because it's not my task to do science. I do art, but I had a glimpse in this book, and it was all nonsense in my eyes, of course. And I will go, and then I remember I used to do this shit too. Oh, sorry about my French, pardon my French, but I used to do this too. I used to calculate these distances, and they were all prefabricated formulas and prefabricated distances. The only thing they have to do is just like, yeah, figure this thing out. But what is the need of it? And I saw this young man struggling with this, and it hurt. I go like, oh my God, man, if
Oh
you should
yeah, oh, we all. Yeah, I think we all have passed that shit. These fake maths and all these calculations and all this that we never gonna use, and it's just for nothing.
exactly.
It's a waste.
It's actually a waste of time. And what
Yeah.
I experience now in the schools are that these children are waking up. They're going like, why are we doing this? I mean, they got access to YouTube. They also did, and Google, and they all got the access about the facts.
Mm.
That they say like 80% of all your school knowledge you will forget. It's just like printing it in your head for the exam, and you will forget. I mean, once again, I learned more from YouTube than my whole school career. But it's sometimes it's heartbreaking, and these children are being indoctrinated from left to right. So in my classes, I give art, and most of the times I start my class with isolating like this circle discussion. And in this circle discussion, I try to help them to discuss any topic they want, because they have to learn how to communicate. I mean, it's heartbreaking even now after the pandemic, how addicted they are to their phones. It's really heartbreaking, man. Like last week, I was in the classroom, and I came inside, and I had to do my own startup routine, like all these how you say that, where you have to fill in if the children are in the classroom and that sort of thing. And it was really quiet. And then I look up and I see all these children. It looked like they were praying, like their head down and this
Mm.
phone in their hands, and they were all quiet. None of them were talking to each other. And I mean, a few years ago, they would come in and they would, like start fighting, or not really fighting, but just like, no, being actively talking to each other, like physically. But this
Like
time we
kids,
were all
acting
sitting
like
there.
kids.
Yes, I know, man. It's that's the pandemic. That's really the pandemic. These
Mm.
all these, they are really zombies. And then
Mm.
I told him, like, "No, man, imagine I could freeze the time. You know, I freeze the time. You all frozen, and I am the only one walking there, and I can walk and I take the phones out of your hands and put a book in instead of the phones, and then I snap my fingers and we get back. What is the difference?" And they go like, well, we don't know. Say, you aesthetically, you're having the same posture. You're bent over, looking at one thing, and they couldn't say. I say the difference is you're having a book. It's one story, but right now you have a phone and it's like a slot machine. Brrr, boom, constantly swiping and swiping. And so what's happening is their dopamine creation is very short. They're looking for dopamine. That's it.
Yeah,
They're
they need the
really hooked
hits.
on it. But sorry, or I'm going out of the subject. But what I mostly do in these circles is I let them talk, and they talk about war, or they talk about Hollywood stars and everything. And then I start thinking, I start planting the seed, like, hey, what do you think about Elon Musk, Tesla to space? They go, oh, yeah, sir, we saw that. That's incredible. The car is in space and blah, blah. And then they go like, do you really think, because they have some IQ and knowledge. They go like, what do you think would happen to the car? I mean, and I bring up the facts that the car hasn't been modified in any way.
Mhm.
Say, you guys know about radiation, right? They go like, yes, of course, man. It's very hot there. You need protection. And go like, say, don't you think all the plastic parts of the car would have melted? We can look it up, and they go look it up, and they see all these melting points of different materials and the radiation in the so-called space, far how you say, is much bigger than the melting points of most of the materials in the untouched car. These are the words of Elon Musk. He didn't modify the car anyway. He didn't even take the air out of the tires.
That's
And then I see them go like, yes, sir. If you see here, aluminium melts at this point, and plastic would have melted a long time ago, and then they go and figure it out themselves. And then they look at me and so like, do we really think this car would have stands these harsh conditions? And they
Temperature.
would go like,
Yeah.
yeah, they will go, no, sir, this. And then they realize, they go like, this is all a scam. And then I go further on. Do you see the horizon? And then I start planting my seeds. Yeah, it's
I
it's
would love
it's
to have a
This is
professor like you.
amazing. It's
yeah,
actually
man.
amazing.
And then they go like, and to point things out, because Elon Musk is their hero now of now. Then a few two when one, I think this was like 2 or 3 years ago, and then you have this astronaut puppet in it, and on the screen called "Don't Panic," and then you see the
Yeah.
curve, the so-called curve, and they say, guys, we are being played. Right now with this whole Will Smith thing, everybody's talking about it. Going like, yeah, yeah, and I go into this topic too. Hey, Will Smith and blah blah blah. And they go like, yeah, sure. Have you seen it? And when they're in the heat of the conversation, I go like, and I snap my fingers, and I go like, just like that, we don't talk about Ukraine anymore. And then they start, and
Or COVID.
yeah, they go like,
No, because
oh, COVID.
if you see, Luis is professional. His profession is teaching. He knows how to give out the information in the right doses and get it to the point, right, Luis? That's awesome.
Yes,
You're
Fika.
trained for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've learned too, like in 2015, I used to scream it out, man, the flat earth. I used to scream it out the top of my lungs, and it worked the other way around. People were just like, maybe I was screaming too loud, and people didn't believe me. They go like, you're totally crazy. And like I think my father-in-law is Jack Cruz. He's listening too, and he always told me, go like, maybe you're right, because we had our discussions too. Is maybe you're right, but you're screaming too hard, man. You're just scaring people away. You will never make them understand. And it took me a while, to understand that yes, it's not every mind is ready to be free.
Yeah. Did you think it was going to be easier once you realized? Did you think it was going to be easy to show people and have people join with you?
No, 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 still not. The indoctrination goes very, very deep, very deep. It is.
But I mean, did you realize that at first? Because I didn't. When I first heard it, when I realized things were all fake, I just thought I had the magic key, and I was just going to show people, and they were going to say, "Oh, wow!" But it really
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
happen.
I understand, Eugene. It's like it. I think it's human. It's a human property. It's like nobody likes to lie. If
Right.
everybody have lied sometime, some point in their life, and it's a
Sure.
bad feeling. So when somebody is lying and you know the truth,
Right.
then of course you want to share the truth. It's just like a dream. You have these different dream stages. This is also how I talk to the students. You
Hmm.
got the REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, and then you have the deep
Right.
state. And the rapid eye movement, you can wake somebody up, and it goes like, "Hey, what's wrong? Why did you wake me up?" But if someone is in deep sleep and you wake them up, the first thing they do is inhale, because you have to pinch them and shake them for a while, and then they go like,
Right.
it's just like when you
When
are
you come
born.
back to your
But
soul, to your
then these
body.
people. Sorry, what did you say, Marcio?
No, no, it's like when the feeling is when the soul come back to your body.
Exactly,
Yeah, you're
exactly.
much further away at certain points.
Exactly, because you're on a voyage.
Right.
If you become 90 years old, you sleep in total 30 years. There's a lot
Right.
thing,
8 hours a
a
day.
lot of information coming in. That's another topic. But then again, when you shake somebody up in deep sleep and they wake up, they will go like, "Why the beep did you wake me up, man? I was in a dream," like. And this is what happens when you scream people. So it's better to, like, massage it in and ask them like very polite, "What do you think?" and this and. But
Wake
sometimes,
up, drink a little bit water, you come back to the
yeah,
Come back
reality.
in
You are,
5 minutes.
yeah, to tell
We'll
you the
check
you
truth.
know.
on you.
s-
Sometimes I do
Excellent,
that.
man.
Sometimes I just take the cold bucket of water and I just drop it on people. It's a good way to if you're having a conversation and you want people away, you just say, "Oh, I'm a flat earther," and you walk away. But yes, yes, this is how I do it with the students. And sometimes I have my doubts, like, am I allowed to? And I look it up, like, yeah, the book I really, how you say, the book that I shove far away that I really didn't believe in, was the Bible, ironically, and with the flat Earth, like my big mentor, Rob Skiba, may his soul rest in peace. This is a man I didn't know personally, but to hear that he passed away, I really shared some tears. This was my mentor, Rob Skiba. He's a fabulous, humble man. And he was one of the pioneers of he is
Yeah, that hurt.
of flat Earth. It really hurt me to know that he passed away. But he brought it so beautiful, the connection between flat Earth and the Bible. I've also got my theory about Bible. Like Eric Dubay too. Yes, also has his theory about Bible, and I think in that way I don't remember the name about it, but I like to look into all religions and see the connections instead of the differences. And like in the Quran, it is said that Allah made the earth. I don't know what passage it is, but he made the earth flat as a carpet and a tent under a
Yeah,
tent. It's a
yeah.
very nice phrase in the Quran. And mostly of my students are Islamic and or Christian, and the flat earth is also a way for me to bring back not to bring back, but to talk about religion. And not only religion, I like to pack it in spirituality. Religion is one
Exactly,
thing,
it's
but
a connection,
Yeah.
connecting to the creator, like through you
exactly,
found one point, flat earth, as a key to or connect all the truth and the spirituality and the creation together, and give it to your students. In a way, it was like the best and the most easy, you know and more on
yeah,
point, the more truth.
definitely. Definitely, like spirituality and religion it's very an individual choice, but I think that's the beauty of it too, man. I mean, this flat Earth, it makes sense in so many ways, so many ways. It's liberating, and I sometimes I do not understand when people say, "I don't care. What does it make a difference?" What does it make a difference? Imagine you have a wife that have cheated you for
Oops.
years, and then you get, oh, she's cheating on me. No, I don't care. This not it doesn't work that way. It makes a world of a difference, like they say. So yes, I've been teaching this, and yeah, I don't know. I got away with it a few years, like from 2016 till 2018, and yeah, I've got my social media, and yeah, the students, they talk about it. So I think the word came to the principal's office.
Louis, I remember you were speaking to me that more or less when the kid had some idea about that the earth could be flat, and they started questioning their geography teacher. And how did that happen? And how did it reach to the board? And would you want to share that with us?
Yeah, sure, sure. You guys hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, cool. Yes, like I was telling you guys, so the word got around, and it got to the principal office too. But yeah, I explained it to the students, and I introduced them to the flat Earth theory, and most of them at first, now they go like, okay, this man is totally crazy. But a few of them came back, like, sir, I looked up, I looked into it, and how does this work and how does that work? So I started explaining them and taking my time after classes. They came, They asked, they figured things out. But then again, then they went to the geography teacher and they go like, "Hey, listen, how can this?" They started questioning the geography teacher, and yeah, the word got around, and these colleagues came and said, like, "What are you teaching these kids, man? This is not right." They say, "Oh yes, what is not right?" So, nah, it's a globe, man. You have had it as an education. Everybody knows it's a globe. I say, no, well, no,
So
the same thing
they
we
couldn't
do.
defend. Yeah, they couldn't
They couldn't
defend.
defend
They
themselves.
couldn't
Yeah,
explain. The geography teacher couldn't explain them why it's wrong. The flat Earth is wrong, right?
no, exactly. No, like they came with photographs, with balloon, high altitude balloon footage, and they got the how you called it, the cognitive dissonance was hard on my colleagues. One of them, they came and they told me like, "Can I talk to you in private?" The colleague, of course. And if you do this once again, like very very aggressive, and go like, "Okay, this is cognitive dissonance." So with my knowledge, I go like, "No, I'm giving her the time. Yeah, I will make sure." She said like, I will make sure you get fired." I go like, "Listen, your job as an academic is to teach these children about the globe. I'm an art teacher. My job is to make them to learn them how to think critical for themselves. So you go back, teach the globe, and I will teach them how to think critically."
How to
Now,
see things.
this, this went further, and they started a group because then the science teacher came and he said, "Oh, you can you know about space and this." I go like, "Okay, man, where is the barrier between vacuum and the atmosphere? What are you talking about? This is, of course, this is the gravity." And I go like, "Okay, it's gravity." No, it's not gravity. There must be a solid barrier between the vacuum, the so-called vacuum of space. And then, okay, then, but what do you mean? Okay, how can a rocket thrust in vacuum? And all these questions. And you saw the cognitive dissonance grow harder on these colleagues, and they formed a team. And all of a sudden, I was totally alone in the personnel's office eating my lunch. And they were really bullying me, making fun of me. And of course me too, getting like I was getting annoyed about it. So it started like some kind of battle war on the work floor. So then all of a sudden I got called into to the principal office, and then they told me, "Listen, you are not allowed to share your personal beliefs with the children. The children are telling us they feel threatened by you. You're making them feel insecure." And I go like, "Which children are they?" "Yeah, these the children of that class." So I confronted the children when they were in my class. So, "Guys, do you feel threatened by me in some way? Because this is not my idea." They go like, "No, sir. We
We
do
love
not feel
you.
threatened. We please continue talking about this." And so I went back to the principal's office and go like, I confronted the kids. They say in no way they feel threatened. I think it's the other way around. They feel threatened about because most of them are Islamic or Christian. They say they feel threatened about you teaching the whole creation story. That is, there's no creator or the evolution theory. This is what is threatening them, not mine theory. So it became very heavy and hot. And before that, I fell into a burnout because knowing all this truth, it was heavy on me. And I started seeing how the school system is built. And then I was going like, wait a minute, this whole school system is a criminal it's a criminal movement, and I don't want to be part of it anymore. So then again, I got called in the principal office, and we had this argument, and they told us like, yeah, Reese, we find that you are not really happy here at school, so maybe there's an idea that you want to move on. And we're like, oh, so we're going this way. So okay, no, you want me to move on? No, I don't want to move on. I'm quite happy here. Of not, I'm not quite happy, but this is my job. So then they came with the offer. They say, no, maybe if we grant you a sum of money, maybe you can. And then I go, oh, so it's this way. No, and then I took the time and thought about it, and then I said, no, maybe it's time for me, because I'm an educator in my heart. I've done this for 15 years. I really like to teach children, and if I cannot do this in the school system, then I will do it on my own. So now I'm really into this process of, yeah, they call it I resigned, but I call it no. They kicked me out. They paid me and they said you have to leave. The words they said is you are too rebellious, and that's the truth. I'm too
Yeah,
rebellious.
they can't face the truth. They can't face the truth, so that's why they are giving you another option, and they're gonna say that we
Exactly.
kicked you out. Yeah.
It sounds like they were more threatened than the kids, so they made it sound like oh, you're scaring the kids. You were scaring them.
Yeah, exactly. Because it
Threaten their
went
job. They have no job without all this story nonsense. They got nothing.
no, exactly,
You
G.
do. You the artists do, but the criminals don't. There's nothing left.
There's nothing left, though,
And you,
man. It's scary to see, man. I mean, the, you know how much money goes into school books
Oof. Oh
every
my God, it's
year.
the biggest scam ever.
Every year there goes so much money. It's just a copy of another copy with other pictures in it.
And then it's garbage
Ironically
in 2 years. You got to
yeah,
re-update it, and it's garbage, and they just keep updating them. So if you have a kid 4 years apart, and two kids 4 years apart in school, they can't use the same books.
exactly.
No.
And you know what ironic is? You get every year they get a new book with
Yeah.
new pictures and the
Uh-huh.
same grammar faults.
It's all, and it's a bunch of memes too. People should realize that they laugh at memes, but you think of your old school books. Everybody, open up in your mind. Open up to any page, and what do you see? You see pictures with a caption. Those were memes.
Yes,
Sorry.
definitely.
and
And
they all are memes. Yeah, right now
It's
too. Like all with the books and everything. Yeah, it's a big system, or to take money and to keep away from the
minds.
real truth. I tell you, it's one of the best paid jobs here in Europe, being a teacher.
Same here in America.
yeah, it's but to tell you the truth, it's becoming very hard. They're making it very hard. It's not about only about teaching anymore, man. You got this administration part, and now they're making this move with I think the pandemic was just like a tryout. They want to
Yeah.
not homeschooling, but giving education from a distance from computers. And what I told you is like this pandemic, a lot of children didn't go to school. Don't get me wrong. I really believe children should get a knowledge. They should get the chance to go to a place and yeah, get knowledge. But with the pandemic, they were locked up at home, and they went on educating them, but by a screen. And this was a disaster, because it's something else to have your students in the same room physically than having them. They're teenagers. The responsibility is too big. They won't go they will go behind the screen, and they will act as they were only gaming or being on TikTok, on being on social media. It was a devastating. And right now we are having the how you say, the consequences.
Backlash. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of teenagers that have physical, psychological damage because too much screen time, not unauthorized but unsupervised screen time. It's heartbreaking to see these kids. I mean, it's a big difference between 4 years ago and nowadays. They are
Yeah, it is.
totally screen addicted. And
Oh
as a
yeah.
parent, the pandemic also had the influence on me, or being locked in, and yeah. And we are also researchers, so we know what screen time can do to us too. Imagine what it can do to these young brains.
Oh,
Destroy them.
exactly. Comparing with from the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, yeah, the now the information and the communication is so much changed that these generations, they cannot imagine the ones from before, and we cannot even imagine what is coming more ahead. So yeah, there a way to control in a way the information. Luis, getting back to the story, um, you told me that in Holland it's freedom of speech, so they couldn't really sue you, but no, if I'm not
No,
wrong.
no. They couldn't sue me because it's a freedom of speech. But what they told me is, it's like, I told them, like, to defend myself. I say, hey, 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 wait a minute. I didn't say the world was flat. I said I have my doubts on the shape of the earth. I even had to get an attorney to know that, yeah, attorney to help me out with that. And the attorney, I told him, hey, listen, I'm a flat earther. And he goes like, oh my God, are you really a flat earther? I go like, hey, are you helping me or not? Like, and he goes like, no, no, I'm highly educated, but but I will suggest you to hold your piss in. I go like, okay. But then, no, then I turn it around and say, listen, this is my belief system. Yeah. And then I also confronted my colleagues. I say, listen, to you, it's also a belief system. You cannot prove any curve. Forget about it. You can come along with all your CGI, but it's a belief system. You have a theory.
They
And
call. They,
yeah, exactly. Oh, one moment, I got lost here. Uh, yeah, I'm back. And yeah, I confronted them too. I say, hey man, this is my belief system and this is your belief system, and we live in a country where everybody has freedom of speech. So what seems to be the difference? But of course, my belief system was contra the school teachings. So there they had a point. We're like, no, I am not allowed to share my belief system with the children because it contrasts the school teachings. So I was forced, man. I was forced to leave. I go like, I will not survive, and I didn't want to stay either. I will not survive on the school system. I couldn't take it anymore. But like, what? Tell the children the truth. I mean, what?
Exactly,
I
and
don't.
they wanna do a settlement with you just because you cannot go and make against them. So that's why they wanna like do a settlement with you more
Yes,
than just to
yeah,
throw you out.
yeah, but they can't fire me, so they go like, okay, maybe we can make an arrangement. So like, okay, what arrangement? And I wasn't, yeah, I didn't pay myself off. I really wanted to leave. I don't want to be part of this criminal system anymore. It was when somehow it really took a toll on me. Like I said before, and was teaching, and the administration part. You have 90, you have 25 students, and you have to do all these reports and typing the whole day, and they're like, you don't have the time to really educate these children. And these children of these students also they're not stupid, you know. They go like, sir, there's something, I hate school. I say, I know. I
Mhm.
know. And then I
Yeah,
it's
because you're not learning there.
they're not learning anything, man. They're just
Right.
memorizing, and just and the ugly thing, they're memorizing and they're getting how do you say, they're getting judged by how good they can memorize something. This is not
Ex-
intelligence.
Exactly. And they're also like, even like yourself and the other teachers, they're also making them so much stressed out with this extra administration work that they don't even have time to think about what the hell they are teaching to the children.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
what happens is, like right now, and in Holland, there's one out of five teachers have a burnout. Me, I confess, I had a burnout too, like 2 years ago, and that was because how you say, I realized that it didn't fit my soul. I was happy teaching art and teaching flat Earth. This is what kept me going. But then I go like, no, man, something is, it, it doesn't fit. Something is, it smells very bad here at school, you know, the school system. And then I went back to my own childhood. The only thing I did it the other way around. When I was a young one, when I was in high school, I'm a surfer. I used to get very bad grades just to go surfing, and then the other day get a high grade, so I could be average, like a five. I don't know how you say that in you know, like there's not, from one till from 0 till 10. I had just a five, which was just enough for me to pass the year, and this is how I
Yeah,
did my whole high
satisfactory.
school.
Right.
This is how I did my whole high school. You know, I
Yeah.
chose to have a free life and surf and be in nature and be with my friends.
Well, I bet you that reason why you didn't pay too much attention in school is what saved you right here, because you weren't accepting that indoctrination.
No, man, exactly, Gene. You know, I always had my doubts, man. I mean,
Mm,
I can remember when I was very young, I used to lay in the grass and ask myself, what is moving? Are the clouds moving or is the
right.
earth moving? You know,
Yeah.
everybody's
I
like
don't feel
that.
like I'm moving. What's going on?
What's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And watching the stars, and I go like, why are the stars always falling down? Why didn't they go up? You know?
Yeah. How are they always the same position? How are
No,
you not
I
getting off
wasn't so
star?
and
far when I
and
was
the
so young.
and the more important one, Luis, the more important one, you are into art and you know about perspective. You know, there is the most
Exactly.
important, is the more important part of art.
Yeah, you know that you're saying this now, Fika. You know, I'm not a scientist, nor am I a chemist or degree, but I can really, I draw really good. You know, I can draw realistic, and in my point of view, people that can draw or paint realistic, just real like realism, they have a certain IQ, a certain yeah, knowledge of perspective, about knowledge about the laws of nature. And this is why the flat earth resonated immediately with me. Like, indeed, man, the sun and the moon, they are almost the same. Optically, they are the same size, you know. And coming from an island, you know, I've always watched the skies. And to tell you the truth, right, yeah, I don't want to go off topic, but the blue skies are getting wider. You know, like it wasn't like this. And I'm a very good in painting clouds, and the clouds I'm seeing now are nothing like they were before.
Mm.
But that's another topic, I know.
Yeah, we are drifting. So
Yeah.
the process now you are into, Luis, is that already is that you are almost about to leave. You're just in the last phase of finishing off the whole deal with these people, and but in a way of sense, as a personal as you said, told me that it was for you like getting a freedom from a golden cage, right? Like
Exactly.
you had
Exactly.
everything, but you didn't have nothing in reality, in a way of your true essence of a being of these children that you are seeing, and you just saw a way of putting it out there, slowly, and not really scaring them away, and all this created the whole situation with the whole school, man, the whole. So in a way you were
Yeah.
quite glad that you could escape that matrix, right?
Exactly. Exactly. You know, it opened up my eyes. I mean, I'm thankful for the flat earth too. You know, like opening my eyes and seeing what so many things, so many truths. You know, like the whole criminal system called education. You know, that made me decide that I don't want to put my son is getting four. I'm not putting him in a school system, you know. And right now, actually, right now, I'm moving towards doing homeschooling. You know, like people, families that don't want to put their children into the school system, then I will become a teacher for them, you know, and I will preach the flat earth, whether they like it or not. And did this give me retiring now of just quitting, I don't care how they call it, gives me the opportunity to maybe, yeah, go do readings, you know, do meetings and invite people that really want to talk about this topic. You know, in here in Holland there's
Yeah,
a guy.
or open a school, alternative school, where you could teach all the real
Exactly.
important skills,
Mm.
learning gardening, with showing with animals and how things
Exactly.
are in
How
the
to meditate.
nature, and also how to meditate. These are the more important skills than being, memorizing crap. It's like really maybe how to grow vegetables, how to milk a cow, how to take an egg from the chicken. All
Exactly.
this is what the kids need. Skills with wood, with
Really life,
with
yeah, life
carpentry, with
skills.
painting. This is what it really helps you in the future. All these a plus b equal to x y crap is not working.
No,
Where
it's
did
not working.
it doesn't go anywhere in your life? You can barely. They should teach you how to do your taxes. They don't do that, right?
Exactly. This is a point. Even the students bring it up. So, like, why are you teaching us how to manage money? You know, do you know how many dropouts there are? They rather go work in. Yeah, they rather go work for the minimum wage, like in a store folding clothes to buy their Nike Airs, man. They really drop out, and I have mentioned it many times. I go like, instead of giving grades, why don't we give them money? You know, like how you call that? Every week or at the end of the month, the father gives a child. I say that some money, the weekly money or monthly money. I don't know how
Mesara.
that's called.
Yes.
Yeah, so why don't the school work with that? You know, like instead of giving them grades, let them. Or I've mentioned this many times. You know, like I wanted to make my classroom, the art classroom, a, a legit graphic shop. So they come inside and they don't get grades. They get how you say orders. They have to make art to sell it. And no, this is always from the principal office. They go like, no man, this is not really what we do. You have to go via the book, you have to learn from the book. I go, no man, this is 21st century. You're talking about 21st century skills. Now let's make my classroom a legit graphic a graphical shop, or you know, like, but they don't want to listen, man. I've made in the past. I've done a lot of things with video, making yeah, short movies and stuff like that. I really had to do this with materials I had to find myself. I had to beg. I go like, give me a few iPads, you know, let them make them. I mean, just like Fika, you know about it. How dedicated you must be to to put a video together. It's a lot of thinking, planning, collaboration, and they go like, no, 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 just follow the book. They go like, why, man? They know
Yeah,
who
follow, be in the line.
Yeah,
They
they
just
know
wanted
who's
to
on
be in
board.
the line. They don't want to evolve and try new things. They would just do basic workshops here and there, just to say, hey, we are doing a part extra circular activities. Other than that, nothing really creative. I wanted
No,
to give
man.
a shout out to Globebusters is there in the chat. Thanks for passing by, Bob. He was saying the word was allowance. They give you allowance. The
Yeah,
parents give
exactly.
allowance to the kids.
Allowance. Yeah, I had to switch, man, and I don't speak English often. I do speak 4 or 5 languages, but sometimes we had
Oh,
this
your
that
English is perfect.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. You speak, and we speak Spanish too. I speak with Louis Spanish, and his Spanish is perfect too.
yeah, and Dutch. My Dutch is perfect too. Yeah, I can defend myself in English. I think I just did.
And it's important also, brother. Once you speak more than one language, your brain just works more different. There are studies been done that. And if you're speaking more than 4 or 5 language, man, that's freaking amazing. All that we
Yeah,
speak more than 2 3 languages is amazing.
no, I would say skip geography, put English Spanish in.
Geography is a quite an interesting subject, but they are teaching the wrong one.
No,
They are
to
teaching
tell
the
you the truth,
wrong geography.
like we were mentioning, they're using the Atlas book. That's mostly the
Yeah.
Mercator reaction. The Mercator reaction. Even that they know. I tell them, the Mercator reaction is so distorted. They have to buy this book. It costs 70 euros
Wow.
for this book, and they use it only once a year, but they still have to buy it. And I go like,
Oh
why,
yeah, the
man?
middle the middlemen are making money, printing this for nothing, and then they don't recycle it. So yeah, we already know we know what they're doing with
Uh,
that. It's just moving big money.
and now they're selling the books and the online courses too. So
I heard about a kid getting arrested for selling the link online to a book.
yes,
Got arrested
yeah,
for it. Big trouble over here.
yes, you are not allowed to do that. I mean, you
Oh
can
my
buy
god.
one book and copy it and give all the children, but now every child has to buy the book. And every year they copy the book. There's a new edition. It's the same text, other pictures, and what I said, ironically enough, the same text with the same grammar faults. They
Yeah,
don't even care about correcting the grammar faults. It's just,
shame.
yeah, it's a criminal,
It's a
very criminal.
shame.
It's a shame. But then again, like Vika said, it was a golden cage that I was in, and it caused me a burnout and a
Mm.
lot of humiliation too. But no, I didn't
Don't.
stop, and
Yeah.
I will never quit. I had my 99.9%. The world was flat, and there was a time I was holding very hard on that 1%. And I go like, oh my God, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the whole geocentric is also indoctrination. But then again, I've had
Yeah,
so many signs that it's the truth, man, and
it
the truth
is.
presents itself.
They can't prove the globe.
Exactly,
That's
bro.
it's their turn now. There's only one place, NASA, and all of the other space agencies are all related to it. So
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
one
Yeah.
place, really.
There was this one time too, and there was the student, and he goes like, "And what about the Land Rover on Mars?" And I go like, "Yes, it's been there for 15 years." And then I show him a few pictures, and go like, there was this picture of I don't know what year it was, and the thing was totally dusted. And then
Yeah.
this other picture, the thing was clean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
totally clean.
a car in Dubai after a week and like 15 years of a robot
Yeah.
in Mars.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, today, Eric Dubay, I saw 20 proofs the moon landings were faked.
Yeah. I saw
Of
that today
Eric
too.
Dubay. Very good one.
Funny.
I like that one too.
Hey,
But
if
yeah,
you look at the
guys.
Land
Yeah, and
Rover
these
too,
people,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
if you look at the
yeah,
Land
yeah.
Rover video, you'll see there's no tire tracks around that thing. Also,
No, yeah,
Mm,
the children know about it. I had an autistic student. I really like him. Because he's got a whole other perspective. We talk about war and about guns and this and then and this autistic guy student, he goes like, "Sir, it's very easy. They shouldn't make ammunition. Then if
mm.
you don't make ammunition, if you don't make bullets, the war stops." We're like, "Oh, that's very nice
Brilliant.
to see." But then he goes
Oh
like,
yeah, this,
yeah, he asked me like, "Sir, who takes the pictures of the Land Rover?" Like it's
It's a
children
selfie.
are not stupid. It's
oh yeah, these people, and especially with the NASA and all these, there's so much with their T-shirts and all this branding they're doing. They're really trying to catch the young again to like really pushing it to make it like a fashion and all this stuff. So it's always there, like the kids with the dinosaurs and the space and all the space toys and all the space program and all the space, you know,
Movies.
documentaries. So they just
You
keep the
can count
people
on
there.
how
Kidney.
much times you see the globe on TV every day.
yeah. You
Oh,
see everywhere you see the globe. Like it is. Yeah, you repeat the lie enough, and people will believe it. It is printed on their in their head. You cannot let it go. And to be honest, let's be honest, we were all heliocentric believers
mm,
once, and
sure.
it is. But no, it's nice to share my story with you guys, and to that is what I told Vika too. Like in this whole flat Earth journey, there was times that I really felt alone, man. I was just like at a bar drinking beer and hoping that should I ask this guy next to me if he believes the Earth is flat, and then I go like, he seems intelligent, he seems reasonable, but like, hey, have you heard of the flat Earth? And then there he goes. No, the guy just walked away. Go like, no, man, you're fucking crazy. The guy.
They kick
And
you
And
out of
you
the
also
bar.
told me, and
yeah,
you also told me that in your workplace, these people they're not even now even speaking to you, and like they're
yeah,
literally like avoiding you, and
exactly, man. I really feel bullied. But then again, I know I'm leaving, so I'm quite okay with it. Like, no problem. Most of you are not ready to 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 be waken up or woken up, so it's okay, no problem. But I will go out with style. I will not just go out and they censored me till I leave. But before I leave, I will share a few a few movies and a few quotes and let them think about it. But then again, I'm not a war kind of guy. I but it makes me really sad. Like people aggressively, what they say, like the truth go through three stages. First they ridicule you, then you're aggressively, yeah, opposed. This is where I am now. My colleagues going, and I hope in my lifetime I will get the chance that most of these people will turn. It's not to be arrogant or something like that, but most of these people will turn around and say, hey man, you weren't as crazy as we thought. I think all of us carry that hope.
For sure.
oh yeah, for there's a
That's
lot. I
setting
think you have
setting the
seeded
curve.
lot of seeds. Go ahead, Marcio.
No, I said to Luis, just send them the flatten the curve, the commentary. Maybe
Exactly.
they can pick up a little bit.
Subtitled in
In Dutch.
Dutch.
That's
Yeah, man. We need to reach them all the ways possible.
Yeah, really. I think I shared it with one colleague because we used to be friends, and we actually still are, and I shared it with him, and then he didn't came back. All the other document or videos I used to share with him, he had something to say about it. Go like, yeah, but this and yes, but that, but this documentary Flatten the Curve, he did not respond. To tell you the truth, he doesn't even have eye contact with me anymore. He used to, but now he's just like ditching me. He go like, "Pfft," and he's gone. He doesn't want to confront me in any way.
Yeah,
But
that's also a problem
to
with
keep
that they prefer to ignore and to don't look at the truth.
exactly, exactly. But then again, I'm always, and this is what who I am. I will always be open for anyone who had another opinion and turn around. I always in my social media, I always say, guys, feel free to ask questions, and I keep sharing it. Right now, actually, I have another job offer at a inspiration center here in Amsterdam. But how can I say this? The owner is a totally heliocentric lover. You go like, oh my god, I got another job, and this guy is really a heliocentric lover. So I went to the bathroom. I have to share this with you guys later on. But there was this poster, and I think it was the photograph of the iBook iMac has a logo like a profile picture of the globe, but then you see that the United States is way too big. It's
Hmm.
so big that if Middle America and South America wouldn't even wrap around, they will touch each other. Then so there's no room for Africa and any other continent, And it's so big
Crazy.
sitting there, and then all these specifications, and the word Earth is like faded out. And I was watching that, and I made a picture, and I sent it to my girlfriend, to my partner, and which I want to mention too. I will mention Serena Cruz, baby. I love you. I really love you. You always believed in me, and in all these years, she had her doubts, but she always believed in me. And so a shout out to her. And she uh, she told me, she said, hey, look, because the words earth was fading away on the downside of the letters, she read fart instead of earth. It was fart, and I thought it was hilarious, man. She made my day. They said, Luis, look, it's not earth you need, it's fart.
That's funny.
So
no,
I shared that
they
one.
do on purposely. Yeah, no.
You never know. Maybe they did.
Really.
Maybe they did. So it's funny to take that picture and confront people. So you really believed in this? Yes, of course, man. This picture, you see it's a globe. And then I say, try to try to wrap that around your mind. And then you see, the that spark in their eyes, the cognitive dissonance, and they're like, oh my god, it doesn't fit. And where do all the other countries fit on that? So most of the times with the students, they go by, sir, there are pictures, and I just put on Google Earth from space, and then I just turn around the laptop and go like, which one of these is real? The difference of colors, of continent size, no stars, the other has stars, the other the satellite debris, the other has no satellite debris. It's all manufactured. So yes, this is. I think this
That's
is
the
my
difference
story,
between
guys.
pictures and images.
Marciano, once again.
That's the difference between the pictures and the images.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The wording.
exactly. I
I think
think.
that's
I
how they get
think.
away with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
the high altitude balloon pictures, the one I'm sharing right now as a profile picture, that says it all, man. That's I think it's more than 500 kilometers of straight edge,
Yeah,
And
and how
and the river is and the flat water also is there right there.
and the hotspot.
yeah, that picture says it
Excellent.
all, man.
And just the
Hey,
heat coming.
Louis,
Oh, I
go
think
ahead,
he was
Genie.
word. Yeah,
Well, I
sorry.
was thinking the 2 million degree heat coming through 93 million miles of negative 240 degrees back down here to what 80 degrees roughly. It's just insane. It's
Yeah,
magic.
It's magic.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, so today we also released the video from Eddie. We released on our channel also on Globebusters. Bob released it, and then also David Weiss, and who else was Truth Seeker also released it today. So it was all together. We released that video about this Globis pilot that they're gonna go try to do a flight from Buenos
Yeah.
Aires to Australia, Perth. So we're gonna see how funny it's gonna be. So that was awesome that we all released together the video today. And on Sunday we are gonna be discussing that on
I
Sunday
could.
night show. We'll be having Eddie. We'll be having Brett, the aeronautical engineer. We'll be having Rob. Yeah, and we're waiting for other more guests too, apart from all these people. So we're gonna be discussing that specifically about how that it's not possible. So we're going to try to be a step ahead of these people and already debunk that what they're trying to do. We already have so many, yep, points to debunk these
Yeah.
people already. And so make sure you guys check us out on Sunday night show. And Luis, thank you, brother, for sharing this with us. We just hope that more people get inspired and see the truth who are into similar profession like you and stop indoctrinating because they are the one it goes with everybody, with all professions. It goes with the army, it goes with the teachers, it goes with everybody needs to see it.
Yes, yes.
And
I would like to take this opportunity too, and to make a shout out to my all my colleagues all around the world. I feel
Mm.
you. And if you know the truth, and it's I know it's very difficult because we all have to earn our money, and your job is can be sacred. I made this decision. It came to me. And I put my job and my financial uh, position in jeopardy. I know that, but then again, I got a lot back. Don't let it torment you. If you're living with this, don't let it be a burden. See it as a
opportunity.
liberate opportunity to liberate yourself. And if you want to teach and preach about this, you can always say how the you don't have to say that the earth is flat. You should like, hey, you've got question about the shape of the earth, you can plant a seed. And don't be too aggressive too. This is what I have learned too. And because it works, it doesn't work in your favor if you go too aggressive. So just plant a seed. The truth will defend itself. So to all of you out there that are in the indication system, and you feel the same, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And thank you very much, all of you guys. Maybe Marciano, maybe we can meet sometime here in
Yeah, I was
Holland.
thinking. I was thinking about the same.
I would really like that. It was an honor, guys.
I live
It was honored to
in
have
Quelle.
you.
Oh, sorry, Marciano, you said one thing. Sorry.
I live in Zeeland, Capelle. so he's not so much far from Amsterdam. He's like some hours. We can jump.
Okay, cool. Now maybe we can meet.
Yeah, for sure.
Now we'll get on that.
He,
So Fika,
Excellent,
nice to hear
excellent.
you, my friend.
Excellent, guys. So yeah, as you say, Luis. Also, if there's a will, there's a way. Okay, so when one door closes, many opens. Okay,
this
so
is
we all
this
have to
is
keep
true.
that in mind. And thank you for being here, Luis. It was just so much pleasure to have you here. And thank you for
Thank you.
sharing this with
Thank you
us.
for
And I
having
hope
me.
it's really welcome, brother. Marcio, last thoughts before we close up, brother.
It was an honor to be here, my friend. Uh, was also much respect for Luis for his work and everything he did and everything he do. I hope much people can hear his what he passed and trying to make the same because it's people like that we need. Much respect,
Thank you, Marcio.
sure, my friend.
Excellent, brother. Was and you are also doing great job, brother. So thank you for all you do through
Yeah,
RTS, brother. Keep up the great work, and it was great to have you too today.
yeah. Thanks, my friend. Thanks for all the support.
You're welcome, brother. Genie, last thoughts, brother.
Oh, Vika, it's such an honor to be here. Thanks for having me again. I love it here with you guys. I learned so much. And Marcio, guys, I want you all to go to rtsrealtruthseekers.com and .video and check out RTS, all the great content up there, all the listeners. And Luis, thanks so much for sharing that story. That was you're so brave and courageous for all of that to put all of your all of what you put in to get there. You put it all on the line. That's pretty amazing. I like to say, good luck with your homeschooling too. That sounds like uh, everybody ought to look into that, and it's not easy, but I wish you the best of luck getting that done. You know, it really makes me feel good about. Oh, I've always thought that artists and like philosophers and real men and women should be running this world, and you make that a true statement. You really do. And congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Gene. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming here. I hope you come again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll drop by for sure.
Marcio, good to see you again, brother.
Yeah, thanks, my brother.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you too.
Thank you. Vic,
Thank you, Genie. Thank you, brother. It was
thanks,
really well
Vika.
said. That's really well said about Louis too. He's done a great job. He's so much inspiration for everybody.
Yeah, great
Thank
story.
right, awesome. And yes, Louis, you are welcome whenever you want to. And thank you so much for being here and everyone in the chat. A last shout out to I just saw Fisherman in a Box and Jonas Fig was here for a long time also, and Truth Seekers,
Joanne,
Frankenstein, Carl Fletcher.
Frankenstein.
Thank you guys,
Woo!
everyone, for joining us. And make sure you check us on Sunday night. We have an amazing, interesting show. That one also is going to be an awesome one.
Sunday's gonna be
So this is
great.
so thank you, Marcio, thank you, Jeannie, thank you, Luis, and thank you everyone in the chat. See you soon in a couple of days. This
Yeah.
is Vikka Razif signing out from Heliopsychosis podcast. Bye.
Peace,
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
Bye, Vika.
Bye. Good night.
There was a documentary just put out yesterday,
Yep.
a good one, by the way, people should check out, called Flatten the Curve, by a bunch of pilots and military people. That's our term. That's our flat Earth term. There was a documentary just put out yesterday,
Yep.
a good one, by the way, people should check out, called Flatten the Curve, by a bunch of pilots and military people. That's our term. That's our flat Earth term.